Wellness and oneness, wellness and oneness. Hope you've seen this in a good space. Um, I am True Omega Sun. This is the Sun Spot, and we're gonna kick it up with the end users or end abusers. And I hope you can hear me well. We're gonna do something different as well. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat, and if I see somebody that I know that would like to come up and talk about it after a while, we're going to present this in a nice little forum about the supply chains and how things get to our door. So bear with me. Let's get busy.
That shit we on. And any weather we get better. This shit right here forever. Ain't shit nothing. Yeah, it could be your time today, so you better find a way. Make that money multiply, let the hate evaporate. Boy, you better speak your truths, let the fake fabricate. Run around like you a shooter, you ain't never held a case. So say goodbye to your fake chopper, say hello to your real problems. Find you some money, yeah, you still staying with your mama. I'm not here to shoot you down, I'm here to help figure it out. Cause we all been there before, stress, waking up on the couch. Trust, I've been through the drought, shit, I'm still kinda going through it. But trust me now, money my language, I speak it fluent. I'm talking hard work, dedication, man, you can do it. I'm talking that mind elevation to go pursue it. And whatever it is, I hope you do it real big. If you stay true to yourself, then forever you'll live. Whether it's a million plus or just a brand new gig. Like I ain't never giving up, nigga, that hustle saved us, yeah. Hustle the only thing that saved us. The only thing. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Spreading so much love, it's starting to get contagious. Yeah. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Spreading so much love, it's starting to get contagious. Yeah. Hustle the only thing that saved us. You might just catch me on a mission, hoping that they see my vision. Life ain't promised to me later, manifest some more ambition. Broke the rich, now it couldn't be a hard transition. On the ship, and sometimes confused with supervision. I'm focusing in on the control of my provisions. The snakes trying to reel you in, they going fishing. Before we talk deals, let's talk all the specifics. It ain't real, I seen that shit from a distance with no invitation. The demons still come to visit with no hesitation. I'm focused on trying to get it, can't live with that frustration, so I just changed my situation. This swag, you can't debate it, we the flyest in the nation. It's all a money game, the hustlers we participating. The journey got me anxious, the struggle had me thinking. These niggas wrapped in blankets and they got big dreams. Well, get up and chase it, my nigga, by all means, yeah. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Yeah. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Spreading so much love, it's starting to get contagious. Yeah. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Yeah. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Spreading so much love, it's starting to get contagious. Yeah. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Yeah. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Spreading so much love, it's starting to get contagious. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Hustle the only thing that saved us. Spreading so much love, it's starting to get contagious.
Everything around me, cream get the money. Creflo Dollar, the heart of a lion, the mind of a doctor. That's Umar, Claude Anderson, Boyce Watkins. Your food-based wealth off the goals you could poly. A man's real wealth is the soul he embodies, measured by his good deeds. But what about the newborn, stillborn? No chance to sin, do his soul still carry on? Or David Rothschild, wicked till he old grade? Some say a devil still died at an old age. So we get the drink from the fountain and coexist. Is it an afterlife? Do the soul exist? Or maybe this is it, no heaven and no glory. Still, even if it is, when they retell your story, make sure it's not of destruction, hate, and terror before a better world. My wealth is like forever rich.
You make a lot of money out of your music?
Money. I mean, how much is a lot of money?
Yeah, that's a good question. Have you made, say, millions of dollars?
No.
Are you a rich man? Are you a rich man? Are you a rich man?
What do you mean rich? What do you mean?
You have a lot of possessions? A lot of money in the bank?
What does that make you rich?
Right, we're about to start it up. Wellness and Oneness. Hold on, everybody. I hope you see me, because it's getting janky out here. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me get this camera right. Okay, we got this in order. Boom, boom, boom. And the camera is in order. Can you hear me? All right. I'm looking at my comments now. Like I said, I got a new format going on. I'm actually going to take advantage of the chat, as well as soon as this thing come online, the chat, as well as here we go, there we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. The crew with the crew, back with the the chat, as well as the forum. So when I get on with the StreamYards, I actually put it together with the Streamlabs type of thing going on. Where's my damn camera? I might have to come in and out. Ugh. But this is for the end users. When I do come right back to it, please bear with me, because I do not see myself on the camera, but you might be able to hear me. Let me check it out. Yeah, man, the technology is wilding out. Technology is wilding out right now. Where we at with it? Come over here. All right, the technology is wilding out a little bit. Thank you for that like right there. Salute to everybody in the rafters. Can you hear me? 1, 2.
Here we go.
Yeah, okay. This is my audio's off right now, so we're gonna work with that. I got a couple of screens up, you know, and we jamming. Look, supply chain, very, very important. You know, especially to our lives, how things get from the thought to the door. You know, very important. How that works, the interactions. But where does the supply chain start, right? I don't know if that's something that has been on your mind, how these things and these products, just look around you and see where things are made. Mostly in the undeveloped section of the world, maybe where those people have to work. Salute, game. How's everything? Hope everything is well with you and your family. I can't keep going back and forth, but I definitely want to say well wishes and prosperity to you and yours. With the resources at the top of the top of the pyramid, or the top of the stack of what it takes to have a supply chain, is very important. Resources and concepts. You have to have the fluidity, the protection, and the will to consolidate your resources, the will to express your concepts in order to put things out into the public light, you know. And there's different type of supply chains. There's the material supply chains, from everything from your shoes to your soup. Different supply chains for even your spirituality and the things that you think of. You know, they come from a certain source, packaged a certain way, and then delivered to you, or you get it yourself, and you disseminate it, and you actually spread that expression around. Supply chain. This was an interesting article in Wired magazine a few months back by a contributor by the name of Paul Ford. Consider, and this is from the article, quote, "This object is made of dinosaurs and atoms, extracted from the earth through a variety of processes that are absolutely killing us, assembled by people who may not have many choices, wrapped in language and images produced by marketers, trundled through the world on a journey that our ancestors would have found miraculous. The last light that touched this set of screwdrivers was from a different part of the world. Sometimes I say a grace. Thank you to the people who dug this from the earth, for the people who melted it, for the people who put it together, for the people who carried it into a boat, to the people who carried it into the warehouse. I am grateful for all the labor of strangers. I've barely gone anywhere, but my stuff has seen the world." So that is the building of a supply chain, the structure of it. When I say from resources to, in concepts, to next manufacturing. All right, let's go through the chain real quick. It's resources and concepts, then manufacturing, then production, then distribution, and finally the consumer or the end user, which is basically the multitude. Just look at a product right around you in your hand and see how it was put together. First, the resource, where it was come from. Did it come from a material in the earth? Did it come from something natural or something synthetic? Look at its fibers. Look at its makeup. And then the concept of it. How it was formed, how it was shaped. What use does it have in your circle, in your daily living? I mean, this is a small thing. I mean, we take for granted how this stuff comes apart. A great deal of the resources that we use, oil, right? Cobalt. Yeah, cobalt, like what? Yeah, nickel, copper, for wiring. Diamond chips used to mine diamonds. They actually are used for drills. Yeah. Water, one of the greatest resources, if not the greatest resources on planet Earth. Definitely used for many of our products. 98%, 99%. Water. Then the concepts to make these resources into something else, right? Oh, we can't forget stuff like granite, cement, rock. The resources basically spiral out of the 4 elements. Some say 5. Fire, earth, wind, water, wood. Wood is something that's included into the Asian concept, because they also have wood and metal, right? And sometimes they're interchangeable, but wood is definitely a resource used to develop housing, furniture, things of the like. Now, mind you, in older times, we're switching from that organic frame into a new stage of resource, which is more man-made and synthetic, away from the organics. So you got new materials on the scene, such as carbon fiber, silicone. You know, these are key. These are key in the moving and shaping of the modern landscape. What made, oh yeah, I gotta freeze up. What made a lot of different groups come ahead of the game was their development into manipulating those resources and forming them into things of use that can give them advantage in the environment. Fishing hooks, billion years old. Hammers or jagged stone flintstones, jagged rocks. So when they were able to look for food, you know, and if it was an animal, they would, you know, slay the animal, make the food, chop up the meat, store it, carve the bone, use it for more weapons, use it for adornments, you know. And people adorn themselves because they want to be able to show that they have conquered a part of mastery of their environment. So they use an adornment or a symbol to show their might, to show that they've you know, definitely had a victory. Resources. If you allow time to stay with your resources, you can maneuver a certain way. You have time to develop new concepts, build new ideas, form new purposes, inventions to help your status, to help your movement into another form of society, where it turns from small families into clans, and clans turn into these social groups called communities or villages. But you have to be able to feed the people, clothe the people, shelter the people with the resources. So where are we on that list of the supply chain? Do you have resources around you that you can easily tap into and develop? Do you have time to sit and navigate through your mind and pick other people's minds to develop a concept of movement from thought to product to the door, the end user or the end abuser, which we're going to get a little later, into consumerism. This might be a 2-stage video because there's a lot that goes along with it. There's a lot of data as well, but we're not going to go into the data first. That takes time. It takes people that are diligently listening to the framework of this discussion. So, with acquiring resources, you want to be able to protect those resources so you have time to develop your concepts of what you want to do with those resources. You may want to trade it off first off and, you know, gain greater than what you have in that trade. You know what I'm saying? Like if a person have goats, you can use the goats for milk or food. You know, and then another person have sheep. And the sheep can be used, the fur, the wool, pardon me, can be used for fabric. Now, which one has more value? First, it depends on the status of that group that needs that resource. That's one. Two, if you can do more things with one, chances are you'll be more valuable, in a more valuable position to bargain for more what you need from those that don't have that type of variety. unless that resource is a great resource that's going to send you 10 times or 10 steps ahead of any other group. Know what am I saying here? Okay. The one that needs the wool isn't as pressed because they also have the milk and the meat. You understand? But the farmer that may have tons of grain to keep those that protect the ones with the goats may be in a greater advantage, even though they have one thing to offer. That one thing is so necessary that the bargaining is different. See, when you have a resource in your community, in your group, and it's powerful and valuable and other people see it, you can leverage your resource and in turn gain power and influence. Also developing the stage for you to increase your ability to create new concepts, new ideals. So you may not have to live strictly and specifically on that resource. Be able to grow and be progressive. We also have manufacturing. Very important. Because in manufacturing, now you're taking the elements of the resources, the power of the concepts, and you're merging them together to actually form something that may not have been around. Your manufacturing skills and the inventing, the process of creativity. Yeah, the creative arts. Like, carpentry, welding. Those are creative arts. You can actually have beautiful works around those arts, around those trades. Bricklaying, masonry. Where, you can put so much creativity in it that it becomes priceless and timeless. And definitely of supreme value. Yeah. What great masonry in the world is why, certain societies stand in awe of others. Because the way they were able to put it down and put it together, how it stood the test of time, how it's able to put forward new ideas through its symbology and creativity, through the hands of very dedicated and creative people. In manufacturing, small gears for a larger machine, a clock, let's say. Just you having the ability to put your resources together to make a small quality piece for a greater product can be a leverage in your power and influence. And it's interesting how all of this reflects into Dr. Neely Fuller's stance on the 9 areas of human activity. Because they're manipulated, though that process there is manipulated by those seeking power and influences in mischievous ways. But let's not go too far off. The small steps, self-reliance, you having the wool to make, let's say, underwear. And you make underwear for your people. And you do it for so long that it becomes a mastery, an art. And families that have mastered that art pass it down to their people. Then you got a quality material, something that is appreciated worldwide. A product that is definitely trusted. It becomes something else. And it's fascinating. And it's a leverage point. Because now you got the currency to back it up. And currency is not just money. People focus on the money, of course, billions of dollars and, generational wealth. But the currency stays flowing, current, like an electrical charge, like the currents of water. You want to be able to get that, so you have more time to create more concepts and ideas, broaden your horizons on the product, and take it to the next generation, take it to the next level of progression. Manufacturing. There are some places right now, cultures, countries, societies that are not participating in the manufacturing stage, and we see others that are rising in the manufacturing stage raise their economies, raise their vibrations even, because now they have more time to develop what's, the conceptual methods of things. But you also have to have might. You have to be able to defend and protect what you have. So, it's interesting. I've seen live just recently, just earlier today actually, and salute to Kofi Pieside TV. Definitely, if you can, get over there. Some beautiful material, primary groundwork. When I say primary sources and groundwork, they always go back to the sources of their information, and the methodology is pristine. Kofi Pieside, and they were talking about how America, not America, Africa was carved up by European nations. And we look at Africa because the continent called Africa, for those that have contention with that, as the number one place for natural resources. Hands down, period, no argument. Everybody's over there to get a piece of what is on and what is in Africa. I don't care where you're coming from. I don't care what your ideology is. That's what it is. Now, the people there are disjointed, disenfranchised, and also colonized by the oppressive powers of the past, a traumatic history, and their own gripes within each other. Yeah, because a lot of the people were different. And even at a time where there were a settling of concepts and ideas between the people, there was really no push to galvanize those resources in a way. So others took advantage of it. Others took advantage of it. And that's why, they're in this precarious situation now. And the fact that nobody, well, I won't say nobody, a great deal of people shun Africa because they basically brought into the Europeans' perspective of the imagery and propaganda that they put forth of this being a dirty land, of the people being dirty, of just savagery and cannibalism and all this other stuff, ungodly. Like, who are you to say that? One. Two, if you haven't gone there, if you haven't spoken to anybody there that hasn't been influenced heavily by the active colonization schemes, and knows their history, know the beauty of their land, they would tell you, it's not what the commercials and the propaganda is. It's not. I mean, in the stuff that we do see is usually taken out of context. But that's the point. Is if you're not in control of your resources and other people are, they can also control your image. And they also control the seed of manufacturing, getting the currency, having the leisure time, and having that time where they can actually use their creativity. And that's what sparks the progressive movements within their group. Not necessarily for the interests of the people that live around the resources. So they become workers or end users and abusers. This is key in the manufacturing stage. Where did you sit on the manufacturing stage? Where are you? Are you an end user or an end abuser? And we're going to talk about that. I told you, we're going to talk about that. End user or abuser. Now we get to, after manufacturing, the production. Because now we have the gear. Now we have this item. Now it has to be produced for not just the people in the vicinity, but also the gross population. It has to be produced for that in order to start to achieve some type of wealth. Because you can break even just dealing with a small circle. Or you can make that item so exclusive that it becomes a thing of want for other groups. So they'll come from all over just to come to you in your circle in order to get that experience, get that product, get that service. You know, get that experience, such as a dining experience. They'll come from all over just to get it from where you are. Depending on your level of mastery and depending on the exclusiveness and the grandness of that product, service. Because there's nowhere else to get it. And you protected it. And you gave it integrity. So now the production comes into effect where you're starting to increase your currency. Your economics starts to rise. You can do more things. Or you can rest on your laurels and let just let the interest in the product soar you above to another social status. This is what we're forgetting or not practicing, definitely not practicing at a large scale. So when we do think of money and currency, chances are we'll go straight to end user, maybe even to distribution, but not thinking production, manufacturing, and resource control. Because those are game changers. Production, you see what's going on right there in this. If you are looking at the live, I don't have my camera up. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm gonna fix that in a few. Yet, you see the productions, the moving, the shaking, the current. People going and coming to be end users of that production, of that production, of that service, from that thought, from the culmination of those resources coming together, put into one place, the marketplace. And then everything else spirals off out of it. The advertisements, advertising, right? Yeah. Radio, TV, music, word of mouth, billboards, the actual culture, pulsing as one, moving as one. This is the code cracking here in the Sunspot. I'm glad you're here. Let's pause for a station identification real quick. Boom. right, yeah. Just trying to get that camera in effect. I think I gotta do something else with it, but yeah. So now you get to the point where the production is making some great ground. And this is what makes captains of the industry, that production level. Um, if you focus enough of your workforce to be consistent as well as meticulous in how they put these things together, you can actually get to a point of production where it's just it just flows in seamlessly. Then you have what you call the the GDP, no, GNP, gross national product. That's one. And you want to be able to get it out to everyone else at a great price, or at a great currency rate, where you can experience some wealth above your margin. So as much as it took for you to get from the manufacturing, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting over that. So if it costs $8 to make, chances are you want to make $38. But here's the thing. As stated in the actual article, when he says that there are people that are assemble these products that may not have many choices. Meaning they could be in a country or government that understands what the purpose of controlling resources and controlling manufacturing is, and all they do is press their people to manufacture this. Manufacture cups. And don't pay them enough. And treat them poorly. And they live in dilapidated areas. And the economy is not boosted there unless they make those cups. So the people around there are forced into doing regimes, and crime rate is high. Spirit levels are high. Praying for a better day. It's interesting how poverty works. In so many ways, some people that in poverty are the most spiritual, and what we call spiritual, religious, seeking for a higher power, something higher than them. It does something to them for their energy in order to live another day. That's why it's not good to suppress people. Anybody that impedes on the spiritual progress of another is definitely of wicked character. Anyone that impedes the spiritual progress, the growth, the maturity of another is definitely a wicked character. All right, and I say it that way so it can cut across all different ideologies and religious fashions and whatever a person think they believe in. Because you want to be able to believe. You want to be able to focus your energy on something that makes you feel powerful, makes you feel happy, or make you feel that there is hope. And it's usually in the circles of those who are impoverished or enslaved. Do you get it? It definitely affects production. It definitely affects production. It shows how people go to the resource experience differently, more genuine, with care. So then you have these people that assemble these products that may not have choices. The product comes out, but it may be faulty. It may be substandard. It may be of high quality because of the pressure that was put on them, facing utter death, starvation. Wrapped in language and images produced by marketers. See, when the production starts to come about, somebody has to speak about the production. Somebody has to advertise the production. You know, kind of like one of your best religions. One of your best religions and the movement around it so everybody knows about it. Pick one. Throw a stone and pick one. Because then that fervent movement makes intense fanatics that will do anything to protect and defend that system. Because that system becomes a resource. The concepts of that resource becomes its ideology, how it's practiced, from wherever it sprouts from. Yeah, it's a supply chain. A supply chain of spiritual conceptualization and spirit, you know. It's the breath. How we define experiences animated from the flesh. Okay? So then you have the manufacturers of the books. The manufacturers that keep the movement going with its dogma, with its institutions, and the producers of that align themselves with what's to be taken care of in that ideology, in that fashion. So they'll wrap it up in the different languages, wrap it up in the different images, give it function, give it new life. And see how I can flip it from the spiritual service to the products? Because it's the same thing. You believe that your product works because of the higher power that you don't see. It's the manufacturer. The person that had the one that was able to take the resources and develop this through concept into the product that you use right now. You have belief in it. You believe it works. You turn it on, you hope it works. If it doesn't work, you have a complaint. If it doesn't work, sometimes you're like, please, let it work. End user or end abuser? Last part of this. Trundle through a world on a journey that our ancestors would have found miraculous. Trade routes, very important in civilization. Very important. Because trade routes were defined by who were able to protect the trade. And you have peaceful trade and you have trades of war. Then you have spoils of war. And when you get into the more conflicting warmongering, the more savagery comes with it. But also, more of that belief system. Pick one. Throw a rock at one. It's interesting. All around trade routes. Because trade routes affect the supply chain. And to be in power, you must be on top of the supply chain. Getting the resources. Becoming manufacturers of something. Utterly becoming producers. Sorry, not utterly. Sequentially becoming producers. So you can control the market. Because you can control the marketplace. And if somebody steps out of line of that supply chain, they're either immediately ostracized or eliminated. And that doesn't mean always, just killed on the spot. Just killed out of the circle of the marketplace. Because you can't compete. or your input is no good here. I have a video a while ago. Your money is no good here. It's good look. We're going to the last two branches of this. I'm glad you were here for so long. Pardon me for not coming up. I'm gonna throw this link in there. See if I could do this StreamYard thing at the same time. So kudos to that. So boom, now we get into distribution. After this stuff is packaged and it's looking nice, it's looking good. It got the label on it already. Ooh, the label from a good name, right? It's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's an appealing name, something alluring, a symbol that somebody can resonate with, maybe. A nice little, what do you call it, a ditty. A ditty is, a nice little tune that goes with it. Yeah, something you can remember, a nice commercial. The end of a sword. Yeah, even the end of a sword. Yeah. At the hand of violence, you're forced to get this product. So the distributors do what they can to get the best quality product to be put in a certain part of the marketplace. If I got high quality watches, I'm definitely not going to sit on the side of somebody with low quality watches. They shouldn't even be on this block. Why? Because my high clientele shouldn't be mingling with the lowbrow clientele, if you know what I mean, right? I provide a service that is exclusive to a certain group. Why are these other groups coming if I didn't invite them? Yeah, it gets dirty like that. And some people say this is the mark of capitalism, and it's just not. I mean, yeah, you can say that as far as, the production part, you're trying to get the biggest bang for your buck. Yeah. But corruption is corruption wherever it is. Communism, socialism, fascism, any type of ism, if it's corrupt, it's corrupt. Wicked characters and bad actors need to be brought to justice. To justice. Yeah. Because that clears everything out. Then you got people that are really good at what they do, getting the best quality merchandise, the best quality ideas, the best quality service out, and the public is satisfied. But when you cheat on any level, it's not satisfying. It's not making the general public better. They'll see a success model in it and they'll want to cheat too. Or they'll want to be just as wicked. End user. Because they're going to work definitely with the distributor. Directly. Distributors are setting up points all over the place to bring you your food, to bring you your clothes, to bring you your working items, your tools. And because you haven't seen past production and manufacturing, you're doing this stuff for others that may have thought to manufacturing, production, resources. And it's a cycle. It's a continuous cycle. It's a force of reality in civilization. So you as an end user or abuser, depending on your consumer intellect. Yeah, consumer intellect. That is such a thing. That is a thing. Because you're picking the things around you that's supposed to give you more chances of survival, give you a better standard of life, a better quality of living. And the moment you're offered something that doesn't do that, that is also in the marketplace, you become an end abuser. How about a gas guzzling pickup truck? Gas guzzling. Not one that may have clean emissions or, you know, a good fuel economy, clean engine running. Nah. Straight gas guzzling, dirty engine, you know, the worst of the worst gas coming out of it, spewing this carbon monoxide into the air. How does that affect the resource? How about those that went to its production, okayed it, and, you know, said, oh, you know what? We know there might be a recall on this in the next couple of years. We're still going to let it out. How does that affect the end user? And then turns the end user into the end abuser because they may have purchased that pickup truck for a good amount of money from the distributor, you know, car dealerships, whatever, your local used car salesman, maybe another person that had a bunch of cars and wanted to give that truck away, got it, and now it's abusing the same earth that they got it from. Yeah, supply chain. Now they're the end abuser. How about this we have right here, this app called YouTube, which can be used as a great medium in exchange of ideas and, you know, lifestyles, the building of networks and getting information and knowing how to rally around a movement. And we get on here, we turn it on, and we use it to destroy each other. Be petty and pick little things at each other. Go so invasive that we're getting in each other's lives and calling it live. An abuser. Like an abuser of drugs. And yeah, you know, it's a spiral out of the decency of the public. But then you're hooked. And never get the chance to see what being a producer, a manufacturer, a concept person, or a resource guider. We need more resource guiders. We actually have those. And like I said, I'm going to a part 2 of this. With the Sunspot, it's more cultural. And I've been flipping out of the Sunspot's culture scene and the Sunspot's city scene for a purpose. The culture scene is the one with the trees that you see right now, with the Sunspot logo looking fly. You know, I usually be in it, but somehow my video is off of it. Salute to that. But I hope you can hear the words. And then I might flip it to the Sunspot city scene, where you actually see supply chain moving, distribution, transportation, information gathering, social groups, word of mouth, phone interaction, social media, digital marketing, billboards, screens, whole screens in the middle of the city. I remember a guy named Jason Black say this, that the skyscraper is like sticking your flag in the middle of a valley. The skyscraper is just, it's a megaloft. It shows the culmination of your wealth and your business proprietorship. Yeah, you out the loop. You are out the loop. If you are not considering being an intelligent end user. Yeah. Even with this device you have right in front of you right now as I speak. As I speak. You have to, I would love for you, I implore you, I always use that word, I implore you to look into your actions and find out whether you're an end user or an abuser. End abuser is the way is the total bottom of the chain there. Total bottom. They can rise up, wake up, and go back up the chain. Definitely. Easily. Because there's a lot of end abusers. They usually travel in these humongous packs, humongous groups, 30,000 people quickly, because they all want to watch the same train crash. Yeah. They all want to see the slip up, the aha moment. You know, gone is the actual production of spirituality and the way it was packaged. That's totally left field. Get in the game. That's what they say. Get in the game. We gutter over here. We about that life. Moving it. And that life is of no life. Because there's no production. There's no resource. The resource of debauchery and wickedness, mischief, chaos. That's the resource there. Yeah. And the manufacturing tales of of these narrative things. You might as well have this is a mob mentality, right? And at the end of the day, after you scorch that earth, can you grow anything on it? Not all the time. Not all the time. There's a reason why you do this. Of course, after you destroy this new life, yeah, we know this. But how long? How long? It's a process. It takes an incredible amount of time and effort. And of course, you know, you're not promised that resource back. The greatest resource is time in the supply chain. And as we've seen so far, by the end of the year, there's new things coming into the horizon that the supply chain will be different. It has been different. You know, the end users right now are in limbo. We're in limbo. Because you don't know it's going to get to your house or not. I mean, thankful for when it comes, you expect it. You know, you look on your latest app and see, you know, my delivery is 2 days away, and you know, you think everything is going to be all right. But that's just like the other supply chain of hope. It's not promise. And if you're abusing it, chances are high up the chain stops. Close this wagons. Listen, I'm not the definitive voice, and I'm not the conclusive voice. Just giving a little bit of information for what I've ascertained for as long as I have. I like to read books. I like to observe and vision things. I strive to be an educated end user in everything I do. And sometimes you fall short because the currency is not there all the time. So it's a work within and it's a work without. And you look to the end abusers that may have a great deal of garnered attention, even adornments, but no effort to get to where the resources are. I give them a little. Nah, no interest in being a manufacturer, a developer of concepts and new ideas that can break free of the dependency of being an end user. That's for a selected few. That's for those progressive and cut from a certain cloth. Yeah. I'm going to say part 2 on how your biggest groups like Amazon, Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco's, and where they fit in the big picture supply chain and how it affects you, us, we, in the near future. We may have to develop our new supply chains. Yeah. We being those people darker than blue, those that are tired maybe of the corporate stance of things, and brokering partnerships with groups like this can also be beneficial for them and us. Amazon is great at that, and I'm not plugging them as a group, but when you understand the philosophy of a company, you can maybe get some great currency and good leverage points for your group in. Oh, we want to talk about that. That's going to be in part 2, end users and abusers. I've gone long enough. Now I know music. Hit the, I don't know if you can, but you know, if you can hit that glass real quick, that'd be nice. On your computers, of course. And we're going to come back to the sunspots pretty soon, you know what I mean?